I admit it, I'm super guilty of judging Iron Guard before ever actually playing it. During a month packed with releases like the Midnight Walk, Pirates VR, Jolly Roger, House of Da Vinci, Ghost of Tabor, and Zombie Army VR, I thought no sane developer would be putting their game out in the middle of all of this, unless it's crap and they're just trying to sneak it out onto the store when no reviewer would have the time to check it out. Well, fortunately, I made some time to check out PlayStation VR2's newest tower defense game, and I'm really glad I did. Iron Guard takes place in 2232 AD, with mankind flourishing, exploring the universe, and sending out terraforming robots to new planets. But one of these ships went missing, and when a crew was sent out to see what happened, their ship systems failed and they crash-landed on the planet, only to discover that the terraformers had turned against them. This is where we join the story, with the first mission putting us in charge of defending the ship from oncoming robots. I was pretty surprised that a budget tower defense game kicks off with such an in-depth story. I'm not sure if I needed any explanation as to why things were attacking me, but I'm glad it's here. It's a good story, and it does get better the further into the game you get. Each of Iron Guard's 30 stages begins with some really poorly voiced communications between crewmates, and ekes the story along ever so slightly with each stage before dropping into the action.
That's right. That's what I too want to know.
Building.
And the action is mostly what you'd expect. The formula for tower defense games hasn't changed much in decades, and Iron Guard doesn't stray too far from tradition. Each map has something to defend in the center of it, designated spots to build turrets, electrical towers to slow enemies down, flamethrowers to set them on fire, laser turrets that'll fire clear across the battlefield. You get the idea, we've done this before. Once you've built everything you can, the enemies come down roads and you hope for the best. But what makes Iron Guard really shine is what's happening in first person during these attacks. You've got a drone in your right hand that fires like a gun, so you can help your turrets take down enemies in real time. But the gun overheats, so you've got to be careful not to overdo it. As you progress, you'll unlock new abilities for your drone too, like a supercharged shot and 2 different types of airstrikes. So while, yeah, it's super important to build your turrets and position them strategically, you won't survive long if you don't take part in the battle yourself. Occasionally, you'll even have to deal with enemy aircraft that come after, not your base, but the drone in your hand. If they shoot you, your weapons will be temporarily disabled, so there's this whole risk-reward factor of whether you should take out the enemy aircraft right away and risk potential damage to your base, or attempt to dodge their bullets while taking out the ground troops. Neither one's a good choice, but trying to do a little of both might be your best bet. Completing each level gives you some skill points to purchase upgrades with to then use on the battlefield. There are various turrets to unlock, upgrades for your air raids, along with unlocks for your drone and base. They're all useful and you'll need to buy most of them eventually. But it doesn't seem that way at first. After about 5 or 6 hours, I was ready to call Iron Guard easy because the first 15 missions or so are relatively easy. But around level 20, I started running into some real problems, dying over and over regardless of what strategy I was trying. This forced me to take a step back and start replaying earlier missions, trying to 3-star missions I'd only gotten 1 or 2 stars on previously, grinding for extra skill points in order to level up everything I owned. And something about that really appeals to me. I like the challenge and like that if I put in the extra effort, I could find a way to make it all work. And all this replayability, whether you call it forced or not, caused a game that I thought was going to take around 9 or 10 hours to beat, actually clocking in closer to 15 hours. Iron Guard runs at 120Hz native, so all the actions and movements are insanely fluid. And the lighting and environments are nice enough. The resolution is a bit on the soft side though. Yeah, I'm getting tired of saying it just as much as you're tired of hearing it. Which is a shame, but it's not something I really even think about while playing. I will say the UI and story segments all feel like they belong on a mobile screen, but they do function perfectly fine. Oh, and it's not a complaint, but there's no headset rumble or adaptive trigger support here either, which is actually fine because neither one of them would make sense. After hours of playing, my trigger finger was tired enough. Although, now that I think about it, a little rumble when you trigger an air attack would have been appreciated. Oh, and I've been trying to showcase it throughout the course of the entire review, but the soundtrack here is phenomenal. Either accentuating the battle with distorted guitars, or hinting that destruction is incoming with an almost foreboding score. I mean, listen to this. I really wasn't expecting to care about Iron Guard. It didn't seem to be doing much more than your standard tower defense game, which I still think is a fairly accurate statement to make after all these hours. But it's got everything it needs. A good variety of levels, constantly adds new enemies and introduces new upgrades to the mix. It's got just enough first-person elements to make it worth playing in VR. But best of all, it kept me addicted, constantly dangling a new and different carrot in front of me, and made me want to overcome every challenge and 3-star every level until the very end, which makes the whole experience immensely satisfying.
Prepare for wave. Requesting fire assistance.